Good afternoon, Salome B here, and today I want to talk about the the Fitzpatrick scale. And the Fitzpatrick scale is how UV rays from the sun affects skin. Okay, so type 1 is right over here, the first smiley face, and that scores from 0 to 6. It always burns. Never tans, pale white, blonde hair, blue eyes, freckles. Type 2 is the second smiley face. It scores from 7 to 13. Usually burns, tans minimally, white, fair, blonde, or red hair, blue, green, or hazel eyes. Type 3 is the yellow one in the middle, and the scores from 14 to 20. Sometimes mildly burns, tans uniformly, cream white, fair with any hair or eye color. So the middle one can have any eye color, any hair color. It mildly burns, it tans uniformly, and it's cream white. Now, type 4 scores from 21 to 27, burns minimally, always tans moderate browns. Okay? Now, 5, it tans easily, rarely burns, deeply pigmented. And the last one, which is 6, never burns, deeply pigmented, dark brown to darkest brown. So these are the skin colors. Now my skin color is 6. So if I was to go to the store to find a foundation, it would be number 6. The circle that's before the last circle. So that's how the skin looks and that's what happens when the UV rays from the sun hits the skin. What happens to it? The first one, it burns. The second one, it burns. The third one it burns. The fourth one, it burns mildly. It tans. It's for any hair color, any eye color. So, and then you have 5 and 6. 5 and 6 tans easily, does not burn, deeply pigmented, and I am number 5. Anyone darker is number 6. So I'm a number 5. Okay, so let's talk. All right, we're back. So here's a visual picture of the skin types. So like I said, 1, y'all gotta excuse the noise. I got noisy neighbors. 1, it burns and it never tans. It's pale white, blonde hair, blue eyes, and freckles. Type 2, it usually burns, tans minimally, white, fair, blonde, or red hair, blue, green, or hazel eyes. Type 3 is mild. It burns mildly, tans. It's cream white, fair with any hair or eye color. So the third one could be a person of mixed race, is probably what they're referring to. It doesn't matter what the eye color is. It tans a little bit, and it's cream white. So that's probably a mixed race person. So IV burns minimally, always tans moderate browns. So the IV, which is 4, it tans minimally, it's a moderate brown. 5, it tans easily, rarely burns, deeply pigmented. And 6 is the deeply pigmented dark brown to the darkest brown. So, I said that I'm between a 5 and a 6. Because when I go outside and I get dark, I can be a 6 when I come back in because, I tan. Um, in the wintertime, I lighten up and I become the 5 because my skin changes when it's cold. So that's the the Fitzpatrick scale. It is also a way for ladies to pick the right foundation. If you can pick the right foundation, more than likely, if you're a 1, you're pale. If you're 2, you're blonde, blue eyes, whatever. And 3 is cream. That means you're either a mixed high yellow cream. And then 5, that's like a darker brown. And then, well, no, that's 4. Then 5 that's a light brown. And then 6 is a dark brown. I wear 6 foundation, which gives me the dark brown. And I'm talking about foundation because a lot of people have been saying, well, women don't need to wear foundation. Foundation is a protection from the sun, the UV rays from the sun, and the pollution in the air, and the free radicals that are in the atmosphere. So that is why I'm talking about foundation. Now, anyway, let's talk about Kays K. Bay. Kays K. Bay is a dermatologist, and he did some studies on, what happens to certain people when the UV rays from the sun, how it affects their skin, and how aging affects all types of skin colors. Okay, so he says repeated exposure to UVR, it resulted in lowering the erythema threshold, and that's superficial reddening of the skin. That's what erythema is. Usually in patches as a result of injury or irritation. So if you're kind of like pale and you go out in the sun and you see the reddening of your skin, that's because your skin is dilating and it's opening up the blood capillaries. And that's because your skin is starting to burn. It's being injured by the sun. And therefore, summer is coming up. So if you're very fair skin or pale skin, you're going to have to stay out of the sun as much as possible and don't get any injuries on your skin. Now, how does aging affect certain skin colors? Well, we all go through aging, which is chronological aging. Everyone goes through that. But photo aging varies according to your skin color. This varies in degrees of pigment we produce. So certain pigments age faster than others. The darker the skin, the larger the pockets in skin cells known as melasmomes, and they contain sticky pigment melanin. And melanin is just pigmentation for dark skin or dark people who do not burn, who tan but they don't burn. And when the skin burns, that's an injury. That the skin is dilating, which means the blood capillaries are opening up and your skin is being injured. So Be careful with the sun. So very pale skin produces no melanin. So that's number one here, no melanin. Now, an Asian person, which they don't have up here, Asian people produce a yellowish type of melanin called phenomelanin, and black skin produces the darkest, thickest melanin of all called eumelanin. 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 The greater quantities of melanin give people with black skin against wrinkles and skin cancer. So the darker the skin protects you from wrinkles and skin cancer, but not all people. Rare diseases do happen where you have vitiligo, like Michael Jackson, and Tamar Jackson. You have where that's the skin lightening process, where that's skin cancer. Now, when aging comes in, photo aging with Caucasian women, they have wrinkles. That's how you know when a Caucasian woman has aged. She has wrinkles. And that's why they need to do the Botox injections, the shots, the plastic surgery. You know, they have to do that because the sun damages their skin. Black women when they age, they have dark patches, their chin sags, or they'll have bags around their eyes, or they sag under the skin. And their cheeks sags. Now, it does say that African Americans age faster than Afro Americans in the Caribbean. So I wanted to go over this because I want people who are dark skinned to stop looking at their skin as if it's something that you should be ashamed of, because it's not. It's the darker you are, the faster you tan, your skin doesn't burn, and you don't age fast. Unless you're dealing with a lot of stress and things like that, you will not age if you're dark skinned. You do not age at all. So this is the Fitzpatrick scale. And it is basically a scale that tells you how the sun affects certain skin types. Okay? So 1 and 2 burns, 3 mildly burns, 4 burns mildly, 5 and 6 don't burn at all. Okay? So that is my conclusion with the Fitzpatrick scale. And if you're dark skinned, you have no reason to be ashamed of your skin color because it barely ages. You don't have wrinkles, nothing like that. So you should not be hating your skin at all. Like, share, subscribe. Salone B. Have a great day. Hey, Salone B here. So I'm back. I want to talk about the skin bleaching and the just the all-out trying to be lighter, look lighter because you don't like your skin shade or whatever. I basically went over the Fitzpatrick scale to sort of enlighten people on how the sun affects certain skin types. Now, if you're bleaching your skin, um, you're actually stopping the melanin being produced. So when the melanin has stopped being produced, that's called skin cancer. Like the stuff that Michael Jackson had, vitiligo, that's skin cancer. That's when the skin lightens. Now, when I explained to you in the Fitzpatrick scale, the first one makes no melanin. The first three makes no melanin. They don't tan. They don't do anything. So anything without melanin, the skin can be easily injured by the sun. Yes, we do need the sun for vitamin D, but too much of it burns certain people's skin. Now, I'm not talking about people that's dark skinned, dark brown, any of that, because your skin does not burn. The darker you are, the skin does not burn. But the lighter you are, the less tanning it does. Okay, so putting skin lightener on and stuff like that, you're stripping the melanin out of your skin. So be very careful with what you do to your skin and what you put on it. Now, black women do age, but they age differently. They age by getting dark patches around their mouth or around like this. Their chin sags, or they have dark patches, but they do not get wrinkles. The thing about melanin slows down the aging and stops the wrinkles. Okay? So, even with mixed race women, they have to be careful, and they also age early, because the third skin type is any hair color, any eye color. It tans just a little bit, but it can still burn. It burns mildly. And therefore, if it burns mildly, the sun can cause aging in those who don't have a lot of pigments. So that's the gist of the Fitzpatrick scale. The Fitzpatrick scale can also be used for foundation. If you want to find the right foundation, if you're a lady and you wear foundation or makeup, that scale is a good way to find your makeup. Find the proper makeup, because sometimes women wear makeup that's too light, that's not their skin tone, and they might have too much on. So, that's the gist of everything. Like, share, subscribe, Salome B. I hope you got something from this. Have a great day.